South Korea saying North Korean leader Kim Jong-un opened to talks with the U.S. in exchange for a freeze on its nuclear program. President Trump tweeting this: possible progress being made in talks with North Korea. For the first time in many years, a serious effort is being made by all parties concerned. The world is watching and waiting. Maybe false hope, he writes, but the U.S. is ready to go hard in either direction. That last point is very important. John Bolton, former U.S. Ambassador to the UN. How you doing, sir? And good day to you.
Glad to be with you.
So what to believe and what not to believe once you heard these headlines?
Look, the only thing North Korea is serious about is getting deliverable nuclear weapons, and by all accounts, they are very close to achieving an objective they've been after for 25 years. So why do they want to talk now? To divert our attention, to get us enmeshed yet again in negotiations, to get across that finish line. Look, we've talked to North Korea on and off, directly and indirectly, for 25 years. We have failed, obviously, to stop the program. There's no reason to think that with them a few yards away from the finish line in year 26, they're suddenly going to get serious. Indeed, I come to the opposite conclusion.
So not only are you skeptic, but you don't believe this to be true. This appears to be true. They would not even be in this position without James Mattis and Rex Tillerson and Donald Trump. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think they have gotten to the point where they're worried that that this administration doesn't respond the way the Obama administration did for the last 8 years. But I think they see in South Korea an opportunity to try and drive a wedge between us and South Korea, or at least force us into these negotiations. And the real problem is not talking. If the administration continued to increase pressure on North Korea, that'd be one thing. But I will bet you $1, just as we're sitting here today, you're going to hear almost immediately the United States has to contribute to the atmosphere. We've got to show good faith. Let's prime the pump, all of which is code talk for make concessions. And if that comes, then I think you can count on this. North Korea will get deliverable nuclear weapons before the end of this year.
At the end of 2018. Maybe the economic squeeze is working. Maybe they're starting to feel that. I mean, possibly that's why you have a change in potential tone.
I don't think so. Look, do you think Iran is abiding by the sanctions on North Korea? I don't think so. I don't think the Russians are. I think the North Koreans are the world's best grifters. For example, do you know who paid for their participation in the Winter Olympics? South Korea. Great deal.
Yeah. Do you think that leadership's getting taken here in Seoul? You know,
yes,
the leader has been very liberal and open towards some sort of dialogue with North Korea.
This is the sunshine policy crowd all over again. They're like putty in North Korea's hands. It's very emotional for South Koreans. I understand it. But, you know, as the great international relations theorist P.T. Barnum once said, there's a sucker born every minute.
We think about inspections here, right? I mean, take this, you know, to the next point in the argument. If you were to get a freeze in the nuclear program, we're not going to believe anything that happens in there unless you get people on the ground to verify it. And that takes you back to Iraq and that shell game that happened for years with the UN. North Korea is the most closed country on this planet today, Mr. Ambassador. How's that going to work?
Well, it won't work. The only inspections, even theoretically, the only international inspection system in North Korea that you could have any prospect of actually finding out what they're up to would have to be so intrusive, so large, so pervasive across the country that it would threaten the stability of the dictatorship itself. That's one reason among many why it will never happen. This is a temporary device by the North Koreans to do what negotiation has done for them for 25 years, buy time to make progress on their nuclear program. They may not need to have any more nuclear tests. That's what the freeze proposal may mean. Now they may just be manufacturing nuclear devices.
Last point on this. If you believe they're nuclear by the end of 2018, that would be something else. Who makes the next move in this game?
Well, I don't think we should let them get to that point, and that prediction's based in part on what CIA Director Mike Pompeo has been saying, that they are within a handful of months, his phrase, a handful of months of being able to hit targets in the United States. I think if they get nuclear weapons, they're a threat in East Asia, but we've also seen the future, just the past week, of the sales to Syria by North Korea of equipment and precursor chemicals necessary for chemical weapons. Let me just say it graphically. North Korea is selling the materials for weapons of mass destruction to Syria now, chemical weapons, and they will do the same with their nuclear technology once they have it.
Oh, sir, thank you for your time. John Bolton's there in
Thank you,
Washington,
Bill.
D.C. We'll see you real soon. Thank you.